huge public backlash. This is a tour that Meghan and Harry will remember for a very different reason. But before we talk about this backlash public uproar, I just want to talk to you first about a few other things. Recently, we have seen Meghan and Harry giving this interview with CBS Sunday Morning. Believe it or not, they got 31,000 people thumbing it down, and they had received only 3,400 thumbs up. That works out around 900% more dislikes. Do better, Sussex. Maybe try next time harder. This interview was orchestrated by Meghan Markle. As we have all seen, she took control of the narrative. She wanted to have complete upper hand in what was going on, not just with the content itself, but also the setup and everything from top to bottom. And this is why we have seen also why CBS Morning, they have mentioned, and it's also coming from other royal commentators, that Meghan was at one point yelling at the producers. Now, obviously, when we talk about the Colombian tour, I want to make mention of something very, very interesting that you will also be surprised once you know this. So let's talk about this particular post. Basically, it said that the hotel suite, the presidential hotel suite that Meghan will be staying in Colombia, and the tour will start this Thursday, August 15th, is £2,500. This is something, a huge downgrade from what Meghan is used to. For example, when she visited Florida last time for a polo match of Prince Harry, she stayed in a hotel that cost her $10,000 per night. Compared to that, $2,500 is very minuscule. But that is really not what is surprising. What we know, as we have mentioned this, is that Sussex will begin their 4-day tour of the crime-ravaged South American country on Thursday and will visit the capital Bogota, the historical colonial city of Cartagena on the Caribbean coast, and Cali, where they will attend a cultural festival, or Cali I should say, not Cali, Cali. Now, there are a few things that you have to understand. Number one is that this is a cynical attempt to divert attention from series of scandals by the government. People can see right through this. The government is drowning in a lot of scandals. This is a complete distraction from those real issues that the government is facing. Mind you, this is important for me to mention, mind you, that this government is extreme radical left-wing government in Colombia. I'm not a political person, but I thought I should mention this because this is relevant to what Meghan also stands for in terms of politics. Now, there is a lawyer in Bogota. He basically said that everyone is talking about how obviously they are being manipulated. Means Meghan and Harry, they are being used as a political pawn when they will visiting the country, because the politics in Colombia is so dirty, it is so scandalous, that they would not spare anybody. Obviously, in this case, they are using Meghan and Harry's popularity, if they have any, their glamorous appearances, quote unquote glamorous appearances, to get their way. And this is also a way of getting or letting people know that this government, they don't really have so much bad in them or evil in them as the public perceive in general. Now, the government, they do not want to disclose any specifics about the security of Meghan and Harry. The reason for that is there will be no security for Meghan and Harry. You heard it right. The reason why they will not have any security in Colombia is because the Vice President, Francia Marquez, she will use her security for Meghan and Harry, believe it or not. The reason for that, the logic behind this is because she said, Francia, that my security is so high that it cannot get any better than this because of several assassination attempts that was done on her. Therefore, she believes that her security is going to be enough for Meghan and Harry, and they're not going to give any more details on Meghan Harry's security. Now, they are going to be visiting, nevertheless, world's most dangerous hotspots. These places where Meghan and Harry will be in, these are the most dangerous hotspots. In fact, we have also mentioned this. US and UK government, they issues a general advisory warning going to Colombia. Can you imagine going to those hotspots that Meghan and Harry chosen? Can you believe this? Those places for Meghan and Harry to travel, according to any standard, security standard, is a big no. But do they care? Obviously not. Now, security cost will be picked up by Colombian taxpayers. This is something the Colombian government is playing with people's money without their consent, without asking them. And in fact, when they came to power 2 years ago, President Gustavo Petro, he promised his people, we will lift you up and get you out of poverty, give you free healthcare and so many things, and only to end up spending their money for nonsense, bollocks, public stunt. This is something very, very pathetic what they are doing. The vice president, as I said, Francia Marquez, is much worse. She faced several assassination attempts, as I said. Believe it or not, she uses helicopter choppers just like we use taxis. This is how she sees her using helicopter. Using helicopter cost you a lot of dollars, thousands, if not millions. And she does that on a daily basis and does this more often than people take taxi in Colombia. Another thing about this corrupt government, the Colombian government, the vice president, she does not live in a presidential palace. Why? Because that palace, compared to the palace or mansion she is living, is very, very cheap. She lives in a billion, or I should say not billion, I think it is $1 million mansion, palace of her own. Can you imagine some politician, this person is so rich that she is refusing to stay at a presidential palace? Why? Because that place is cheap than the one she owns, which is worth millions of dollars. When he came to power, Gustavo Petro, 2 years ago, he and his son, all of them, the whole family is in a mess. His son, for example, is facing 25 years in jail for corruption cases. 25 years, guys, 25 years. He's not able to help him out from this situation because it is being well established in the Colombian politics and justice system that this guy, his son, is a criminal. And not only this, this guy, Gustavo Petro, he actually has a extramarital affair with a transgender woman. I believe her name is Lipa, something like that. But this guy is cheating on his wife, and when he was caught, he basically said, let me keep my life private. Do not talk or discuss about my life in public. Under these circumstances and at all of these backdrops, Meghan and Harry, they're going to be visiting Colombia. Why you think that will happen? It is obvious to us. There are two reasons. Number one, from the Colombian government side, which is that they want or need desperate PR to improve their image. They have failed in their promises they made to their people. Now, by bringing Meghan and Harry, they want to come across to the people of Colombia that they are doing good, that the world is recognizing them. On the other hand, the second reason why this tour is happening is because Meghan and Harry, obviously, they also need some PR stunt. They're facing huge backlash. They're just like the Colombian government. They're facing image issues. The popularity surveys, everything shows that it is tanking big time. So now they have this opportunity where we see another corrupt country is now going to be helping them out. They're just as corrupt as Meghan Markle. But I will go to that extra mile and tell you this, guys. Colombian government, the vice president, the president, they are 10 times worse than Meghan herself. After hearing all of the stories about Colombian government, their scandals, how corrupt, how degenerate they are, to me looks like they are one step or 10 steps ahead of Meghan Markle. Good luck with that, but I think that Meghan and Harry, they will be up to something to orchestrate some kind of security concern or issues just so that they can come back to UK and tell the court, for Harry, tell the court that we need security because we went to Colombia and this happened, that happened. We were chased and an assassination attempt was made on us. Believe it or not, this is what I believe. Even though this is very wild, But looking at Harry's desperation and the relationship, how it is crumbling with Meghan Markle for not giving her what she wants, I think this is going to be possible. And let me know in the comment section below if you agree with that.